So, and then people say, where do you get your ideas? And that's the poser. If you guys have got the microphones and stuff, if anybody has that question, pass it on. I used to tell people, because I didn't know what else to say, that I got into Utica, New York. There was a little used idea shop there. I needed one. But they come from different places. And with this particular book, 11/22/63, at bookstores everywhere, they make wonderful Christmas presents. Something in there for the whole family. It's a funny thing, but when the manuscript went to the publisher, there's this funny cutoff point around the age of, well, let's say anybody born after 1958. They have a tendency to look at that date, 11/22/63, and not recognize it, not know what it means. Although, if you ask them, what does 9/11 mean to you? Immediately they know. But for people from my generation, we're baby boomers who now barely pop. But for us, that was our 9/11. And I was 17 years old, had been 17 years old for 10 months. And we were in the Eastern time zone, and Kennedy was shot in Dallas in the Central time zone. We got out of school at 1:30, around the time that Lee Harvey Oswald was putting a bullet in JFK's head. And we didn't know when we left school. A lot of people, anybody who's beyond a certain age can tell you. Let me see a show of hands. Can you remember where you were when you heard? I'd say almost over half the audience. So we were on our way home in the radio. There was a guy that took about 7 of us back and forth. He had the radio on. We didn't know what to say. My mother came from a family of lifelong Republicans. And when I say, let me put it this way. My wife burned me better. We've been married for 40 years. And really, a lot of the things. I'm a Democrat. And if I hadn't actually found a way to shift it from, let's say, Nixon to Kennedy, that sort of thing, the American policy. But first time I proposed, I just basically, I said he was going to get us out of Vietnam, and he had a plan to get us out of Vietnam. My wife still laughs at me. It really doesn't matter what it is. We could be talking about Obama, we could be talking about, city council. And Tabby will find a way to say, in 1968, Nixon said he had a plan, and Steve believed him. He said he had a plan. So, but then we were all Republicans. That's why I was so lead to Nixon until I got a little older, and maybe when I came on 11/22/63, my mother was on the sofa, and she was in tears, and all my mother could keep saying was that beautiful man and his beautiful wife's beautiful children. And the TV was on all weekend long. The world changed. The world grew back a period of, I'm going to say 72 hours. And of course the assassination happened as it did at the same time that the funeral of the president was taken. So 8 years go by, my daughter says to me, by, I'm no longer 17, I'm teaching school, and it's 2271. Sitting around in the teacher's room, the way that they did back in the old days. Everybody smoking like a chimney, bitching about the kids, bitching their various teaching assignments. And somebody said, I wonder what would have happened if Kennedy. And that kind of struck a chord in me, because I believe that Oswald, I did a terrific amount of research for this book. I still believe that Oswald died. Not everybody does. People who have conspiracy theories. I don't argue with those people any more than I argue with the people who say believe in coercion or flying saucers, anything else. You're welcome to your opinion. This is America. God bless you. But assuming that it was one man who just happened to be at the right place, who just happened to be there at the right time. Lee Harvey Oswald and his wife were more or less separated. Marina Oswald had gone to live in Irving, Texas, with a Quaker woman named Ruth Paine. And Ruth Paine was she was really ahead of her time. She was kind of a hippie in 1962 or 1963, and she saw the good in everybody, and she thought that Lee Harvey Oswald was a fine young man, so she got him a job at the Texas Book School Depository. Now, this was before Kennedy's route was planned, and it was before Kennedy even knew that he was going to go to Dallas, Texas. So what I'm trying to say here is there was a real confluence of events here. And everything came together at a time in U.S. history when everything was balanced and could go one way or another. And I was just fascinated by the idea. And I thought, what if somebody could go back in time and change that? One person could actually change the entire course of history if he could save Kennedy's life. Now, you wouldn't know if they would all be good changes or if they'd be bad changes, but based on some of the things that he did in the book. And it started with a fellow named Jake Epic, who has a friend who runs a diner in a small Maine town. And there's a rift in time in the pantry of this diner. And if you go through it, you always come out at the same place, 2 minutes before noon on September 9th of 1958. And you would have to spend that time living in the past until it came time to do something about stopping Oswald. And along the way, trying to make sure that stopping Oswald wasn't going to guarantee the president's safety, that it was going to guarantee the president's safety. In other words, that there was no conspiracy. I got 25 pages done before I realized that the research requirements for a full-time teacher were going to be enormous, and that I knew nothing about Texas, that I was basically up shit creek without a paddle. And then I thought, well, I'll just Google it. And then I realized, oh my God, it's 1971. I just put it in the... Now, one of the other questions that people ask me, we're not going to do that. Just kind of like shift around and fart and stuff. I'm having another Rick Perry. People ask me, do you keep an idea notebook? And the answer is no. I think a writer's notebook is the best way in the world to immortalize bad ideas. So I have a Darwinian approach to that. The bad ones fall away on their own, the good ones stick around. And my time travel story lasted for 71, 80, 2001, about 37 years. And then Barack Obama was elected president of the United States. And I started to see certain parallels. between the two men. Both of them Democrats, of course. Both of them young. Both of them with significant hurdles to surmount if they were to become president. Kennedy was a Catholic, and a lot of people felt that he was going to take his orders from the Pope. And of course, Barack Obama is African American, and also apparently a lot of people think he's taking his orders from somewhere in Kenya or something. It's a Tea Party thing. I can't really figure it out. But I understand that it's there.
Oh, I love
both with beautiful wives, both with two beautiful children, and both of them with the ability to really polarize the country, and not in a good way. In both cases, there was a lot of hate involved with that. So I found somebody who would help me do some of the research, and I decided I was going to try to write that book.